In this series, I'm going to go over the entire process of creating a VPC, the subnets, and all the required things, and in the end, create an EC2 instance in which we can host our application and then even configure the EC2 instance um, so that the Canvas application can start running on that server. So let's get started. I am um, in my AWS console. Okay, I'm logged in as the root user and I'm in the North Virginia region. Now, first thing, I'll go into VPC, and in this, right now, I don't have any VPCs. So you can see this is 0. Now, in here, I will start creating one. So let's say our VPC name is CIDR block is basically the IP range which we want to give. Each and every information you can go through this through this icon. You need to just hover over it. What I will do is give 10.0.0.0/16, and rest I will keep as it is. The tendency is basically whether we want the VPC to be a shared thing or we want it dedicated for better performance. Everything is written, but yeah, we'll go with the default and let's create the VPC. Okay, now that our VPC is created, the next step is basically to create subnets. Okay, subnets are basically isolated set of network where we can control the traffic and other parameters. So I'll go into subnet and we'll create two public subnets. Okay, the basic advantage of creating subnets is that inside a subnet we can have multiple instances running. Okay, and based on the configuration we can say that any instance which is on a public subnet will have internet access and can be accessible through internet, whereas any instance which is in a private subnet may have internet access. I mean, I can access internet from the instance, but the instance is not available through the internet, which means there is no public IP for that instance. So typical things will be like, if I have a database server, I will put it in a private subnet so that it is not accessible through the World Wide Web, but internally inside VPC, one subnet instance can talk to another subnet instance through the private IP, right? So it makes everything much more secure. So let's create a subnet, Canvas public subnet, and we will create two subnets. So on two different availability zones. Okay, so the first one will be 1A. Okay, the availability zone we will select as 1A as well. The CIDR block we can do 10.0.0 dot sorry 1.0/24. Okay, so that I'm keeping it different so that we quickly know through the IP range which subnet a particular instance or an IP belongs to. So the 1.0 is 1A. We'll create one more. Let me copy this subnet. By the way, you need to select the VPC. Right now we have only one VPC, that's why it is by default selected. Otherwise we would have seen the drop down with much more options. Okay, now in here as well 10.0.2.0/24. Okay, so two public subnets have been created. Now let me quickly create the private ones as well. So we'll have this as PRV. Okay, this can be in C. This will be 3.0, and the last one will again be a private subnet. Oh, I renamed it. This is wrong. It is 1C. Okay, and the last one will be 1D. Now, North Virginia has one, two, three, six availability zones. You may not get so many availability zones in all the regions, but yeah, you can create two subnets in one A, one B, and again two private subnets in one A, one B. That's okay. We can do that. That's not a problem. For example, if you are creating any instance in Singapore region, I think they have only right now one A and one B, two regions. Um, so yeah, the options are a bit limited, but that's okay. It doesn't matter with our infrastructure. So we have four subnets in here, right? Now, by default, if um, you know we create any instance in any of these subnets, okay, they will not have any internet access. The reason is by default the entire VPC is isolated, and the only way to give internet access to a VPC is through internet gateway. Okay, so we'll have to create one internet gateway, which is, let's say, Transverse IGW. Okay, once it is created, we need to attach it to our VPC. Again, the drop down can change if we have multiple VPCs. Okay, that is done. And now we need to create a routes table. Routes table basically um, like a firewall, or which detects the network traffic and decides whether to allow it or deny it. Okay, now whenever we create any VPC, a default routes table is created, and everything in it is by default not allowed, which is fine. We whenever we create anything in our VPC, it will get this default routes table, which is doesn't have any access, so it is secured. Now we will create our own routes table. Let us call this the Canvas default RTB. Okay, and we'll create the new one, which is what do we call it? Canvas public RTB. Okay, let's create that. Okay, now that we have our own routes table, custom route table for that particular VPC, we'll first need to associate all the subnets with this route table. So as we are looking at only the public subnets, I will select these two. Okay, 1A, 1B. Okay, and once that is done, we'll go into the routes and add a new rule. Let's see. I'll say any traffic should target the internet gateway. Okay, and as you can see, all the local traffic is directed, destination is this, and now so the target is local whenever the destination is this, and whenever there is a world wide web request, it is being redirected to our internet gateway. So now what we have done is created two subnets where internet access is available. Okay, and now the next step will be to create an AWS EC2 instance inside our public subnet to get started. Okay, so we'll go again. I have some shortcuts in here. What you can do is when you go over it, you can select which one you want to you know put as shortcut. So I have done it for EC2, VPC, and S3 because these are some of the services which I use regularly. So I'll go here quickly. This is my EC2. All right. Um, it says zero instances, zero volumes, everything is zero except for the security group. Let's see what all security groups I have. Okay, this is the default and this is default security group. I think this is created by the VPC. Let us see what is the IP. So it's 1D8, 1D8, right? So whenever we create a VPC, a security group is created. We'll keep this. We don't want to touch that, but we will create a security group for um, web server SG. Okay, that's the website web server security. This should be for this particular VPC. The inbound rules are I'll need SSH access anywhere. I need HTTP access again anywhere. Although the SSH access, we can do something like my IP, which will load this. But then my problem is I don't have a static or fixed IP, right? So it can change. So I typically do it anywhere. I know it is a little insecure, but that's okay. Right now, the server is only for demo purpose, and later on I will remove it. So no big deal. So this is again anywhere, HTTP, HTTPS, and the last one is I am looking at having NFS mounts in my on my server, and so this custom thing is required. So I'll do that. Okay. So that's about it. And so yeah, let's create that. Now we have an security group, so we can start looking at launching an instance. I'll go to launch. We need to select an AMI. Now we can, if we have our own image, my AMIs will be the place to go, but I don't have any right now. So I'll go with the Ubuntu server 16.04 LTS. I am comfortable with this. So let's get started with that. I'll use a T2 Nano, the most smallest of instances. Okay, and now this is where we need to configure things. Number of instances is 1, that's fine. Our network is with the VPC. Now our subnet, you can see we can select from any of the subnets, but we know that these two are private subnets, which means these two subnets will not have internet access. So let's not select any of them. I'll select 1A. Okay. Auto assign public IP should be yes. I don't have any IAM role right now. I am not doing any such thing. You can keep protection against accidental termination on. I won't do it right now because I'm anyways going to delete the instance later on once the demo is done. So okay, size, I think 8 GB is more than enough. I don't need to worry about that. And let's do some tagging. So name, canvas, okay, and type, let's do it as test. Okay, the basic idea is once we give these key value pairs on the dashboard, I can quickly select all the instances by the tags. So that's fine. Security group, we have already created our own. So this is the security group. Okay, review and launch. I think everything is fine. So we are going with this AMI T2 Nano instance. Security group is this, which says these are the rules. Instant details, storage, tags, everything is done, and we hit launch. Now choose an existing key pair. I don't think we have a key pair yet, so create a new key pair, canvas demo. This is the key pair which I will have. I should have this downloaded on my downloads folder. That's fine. Okay, I have the PM file. Now this is the only chance that you will be able to generate the PM file. Okay, so it says you will not be able to download the file again if it is after it's created. So fine, you need to keep it secured. Typically what I do is I keep it in one folder which is backed up on a secured S3 bucket which is private, so that I don't lose them, or else the servers are gone for me to access. So yeah, launch instances and it will start launching the instance. Okay, and the beauty of tagging is, let's say we have around 5-7 servers. So what I can easily do is I can do all servers with name canvas. Okay, so it will only filter to the ones which are related. Anyways, we are not going to do that right now. We have only one server, it is running, and let's see, the public IP is this. Oh, it won't be accessible by any chance because we haven't installed anything on that server. But let me go to my console, and do I have my key pair? Yes, I have it. Okay, so let me take the IP and SSH-I. Oh, I think I need to first do a chmod 400 canvas. If you are thinking how did I get that, you can click on that connect. You see they say that we need to do this permission thing, and then I can simply copy this, go to my command line and add that. Okay, it will ask whether the key print can be added or not in my known hosts. I will say yes, that's fine, and I'm logged into the server. Okay, so first step, sudo apt get update. Okay, it will update all the repositories with the latest versions. Okay, and now I have, I think, a small little file in here which I'll open up in Sublime. Right, so these are some of the things which we need to do in order to have our server running. Okay, first step is obviously add this repository for PHP, and apt-get update is fine. It will update everything again because we have a new PPA added. And then apt install, oh sorry, it has to be a sudo. I'll add that. Okay, so zip and unzips are done. This is basically required because Composer will require these to download the packages. Okay, so now we are installing PHP 7. So we have PHP 7 fpm, CLI, mcrypt, GD, MySQL, PostgreSQL, IMAP, Memcache, all the typical things required for a Laravel application to run. Okay, so I have these. Hit enter. It will take its time to install. Should be fast. Okay, so we have everything installed in terms of PHP. I can do php-v, and we can see we are running PHP version 7.0. Okay, now let's go back to our thing. We need Composer, obviously, so let's do this. And then what we are doing MySQL secure installation. Okay, and then the mounts, right? So that's fine. We have done this. I'll install MySQL as well. For now the password can be password. And we have everything ready for us to start adding an application. So let me go here. First of all, do we have, oh, we haven't installed Apache. That's strange. So I think that should have been the first thing to do. I need to update that. Sudo app get install Apache 2. I hope this doesn't screw up anything because my PHP is already installed. Should not happen. We'll come to know. So let's say we hit this, we have this running, and let's go to var www.html. Quickly we will do vim info.php, php info, and let's see if we are able to get that. So info.php, I think I should have restarted the server at least. Sudo service apache 2 restart. I think I screwed it up because I didn't install Apache at first. So what I will do is I will shut down the server and reinstall everything, but the only change will be I will have Apache installed first, and then I'll do all the installation steps, and then I will come back again. By the way, um, to stop any server, so there are a few things which you need to keep in mind. That is, um, first, when we are doing the stop, there is a volume associated with that particular server, and you know you will be charged for any EBS volume which is lying around on your account. So if you feel that that particular volume is not required anymore for you, or any snapshots are there for that particular volume, you can go ahead and delete them. Otherwise you'll be charged. For example, I think right now I have this volume, and I'll have to ensure that when the instance is stopped and then it is terminated, that instance volume should go away. Otherwise I will delete that. Okay, so the instance is stopped. I'll again do terminate. This is done, shutting down. Now I should be able to go here and delete volume. The volume doesn't exist, which means now it should have been deleted, right? So we have no volumes lying around, and my instance is terminated as well. So fine, I will create a new instance again, and follow the exact same process till this, and I'll come back again. Now I have created that server, and I have a new public IP which is in the range of 52205, and this is the server. Okay, and let me connect to that server. And if we go inside the HTML folder, you can see I have php info. So info.php, and I'm now able to see that file. The only thing which I missed out is the fact that I installed Apache, but I didn't install libapache to mod php 7.0. This is required, and so that Apache knows that there are PHP files, and so it needs to process them instead of showing them as a text file, which was happening in our case. So I have installed Apache. We have gone through the PHP 7 installation. MySQL, I think I have done that. Let me quickly check. MySQL-u root/p. No, I haven't. So I'll keep that here. Okay, let it install. And two things which you need to run from your command line is this, and I got that when PHP was installed. Basically it enables the configuration for PHP 7.0 FPM. Okay, and this is for the FCGA if you require that. All right, so we have everything. I think also we can run Composer. No, okay, I didn't install that. Strange. So I'll go to my home folder, run this command, and now I have Composer. So I'll go inside HTML, not inside HTML rather. I'll have a folder in here. Let me get the transverse URL to clone. So this is the HTTP URL. What I will do is sudo git clone this. Okay, so let it first clone that. I have the folder. Now I'll do sudo mv html2 underscore old html and sudo mv transverse to html. Alright, so now we have the HTML folder. Inside that we have everything. Composer install. Let me first change the owner. Sudo c change owner. It is Ubuntu user, right? So for now we will do everything as Ubuntu. Okay, lsal. This is fine. So I'll come over here and I can now do Composer install, so it will be able to create everything, all the files and everything. It doesn't have a permission problem. Otherwise I would have to do a sudo, which I don't want to do right generally, because it gives them a root permission. So lsal, everything is Ubuntu. Now we have a problem. If I get to this URL, that's strange. It still shows the, yeah, that was getting cached. Now this is where my URL will be running, right? Which is /public. I don't want that. So why don't we quickly do sudo nano etc apache sites enabled, and then the file in here, come over and /public. Okay, now we are still going to face some issues which I'm going to solve with you. So sudo service apache 2 restart. Okay, so now we should see this, which is fine. I'm getting a 500. I know the problem. It's basically, we will get that, will we? I don't think right now we will get that error. Yeah, so this is primarily happening because the storage folders and other important folders doesn't have write access for Apache. So what we will do is sudo change owner to www data. This is the user through which Apache is running. Okay, and what are the folders? So I'll have storage, public, and bootstrap cache. Okay, that should work. Okay, these are some different kinds of errors which we'll need to figure out. The first thing is, obviously we don't have any environment file. So cp.env.example2.env. Okay, nano. Okay, let me first create the key. So php artisan key generate. Yeah, that is done. Now again we will do nano. As we have seen, we have the MySQL on this particular server, right? So we can do transverse root. Now obviously I would highly recommend you don't use this super secret password, and if possible you should create a different MySQL user. But how I look at it is, later on I will create an RDS instance where we will have the database. So for now this connection is fine, but yeah, at least you should have a strong password. All right, now we have a MySQL database requirement. So okay, it's a typo. MySQL, hit the password, create database, canvas, quit, PHP artisan migrate, and seed. Alright, so that's done. PHP artisan passport install. That will fail because passport, that's correct. What is the problem? Am I doing something wrong? So this is basically so that the passport entries are added. Okay, and more importantly we have these two files. Okay, because otherwise our APIs are not going to work. That's fine. Now we should have the app running, but there's a problem. You see, the login page is not visible, and that's because this is a rewrite URL which we haven't enabled. So for clean URLs, what we will need to do is sudo a2en apache 2 enable mod a2en rewrite. Okay, this will ensure that the rewrite module is on, but even then we need to make one more change, which is etc apache config. Let's search for allow override. How many hours do I have? It's 3 hours. Okay, so inside ww allow override, we can set it to all so that our htaccess can enable the mod rewrite, and we'll restart Apache, refresh, and now we have the login form. Okay, obviously this is right now set to password, so I can log in. I'll be able to see all the events, which is those which are coming from the seed. I can create event, I can look at them. I haven't configured the emails, so emails won't go, but yeah, that's how we have set up the environment for having an EC2 instance running our application. Thanks for watching, guys. This has turned out to be a very long video where we have gone right from creating a VPC to an EC2 instance inside our public subnet, and then configuring it to run our Canvas application. In the next video and in the next subsequent videos, I'll try to make this application be inside an NFS mount. The basic idea is the code base will be in one shared drive, and we can have multiple servers running under a load balancer and an auto scaling group. So the code base is same, all the servers are pointing to that particular code base, and they're serving our application, and as and when required based on the traffic, our instances will be created and destroyed when they are not in use. So yeah, that's how a typical load balancer and auto scaling will be done. So yeah, I'll cover them up in the next videos. So thanks for watching, guys. If you like the videos, do click on the thumbs up icon, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.